Welcome back to the 12th day of Craftmas. I can't believe this is the last day. I've really enjoyed making these Christmas crafts with my Cricut and sharing all of them with you. Let me know if you had a favorite. In this video, I used my Cricut Maker and knife blade to cut out the Merry Christmas and snowflakes out of Basswood. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Tutorial, I first want to start off in Inkscape. This is something that you can download for free on your computer if you just type in Inkscape download, and you can do so many different things with Inkscape. There's a lot to learn with it, but what I want to do for this video is the font I want to use is the Samantha Upright font. It's a really amazing font because it has tons and tons of those glyphs and swirls. I'll leave a link for that below. I believe it's $17, so you do have to pay for it, but I feel like it is so worth it. So I'll leave a link where I bought this down below. What I'm going to do first is go over here and click on A for my font, and it brings up this bar at the way top left, and I already have it selected because I already figured out how I wanted to do Merry Christmas. So it's the Samantha Upright font. Once you have that font downloaded onto your computer, then it automatically pulls up an Inkscape, and I already have an Inkscape tutorial on how to thicken fonts, and I have a video on how to download fonts, and I have a video on how to add glyphs. So I am going to link all those videos down below because I'll be using all of that. So if I go through this too quickly, then you can check out those videos also that are dedicated to each one. So now I'm going to select in the square, and I am going to type in Mary. To drag this out and make it bigger, I select this arrow. Then you can see it shows up with these little arrows. I am going to hit Control Shift on my keyboard and make it bigger. It just keeps the proportion. Now I want to change the M and the Y, so I'm going to go over to my character map. I have a whole video on how to use this, so I will link that down below. And this is the M I'm going to be using, so I'm going to copy that and go back into Inkscape. I'm going to double click and highlight over the M, and I'm going to hit Control V so it will change it with the swirl. And now I'm going to change the Y, so I'll go back here. I'm going to choose this Y, so I'll hit copy. You don't have to do this when doing this project though. You can choose whatever font you want. I just really like the Samantha font for around Christmas time, and it was a little too thin for this Basswood project. Oops, I just hit undo. Redo. Okay, so now I'm going to hit Control V and put the Y in there. Now I'm going to do the Christmas part. When I played around with this earlier to see how I wanted it to look, I ended up having to do the C separately, so I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do is type in part of Christmas. Now I'm going to change the S, so I'll go back over to my character map. I'm going to select that. Now I'll choose my C, so I'm going to click on the A one last time and type in C. I'm going to scroll to the way top to find the C that I want. So I'll double click again, highlight, and hit Control V. You can also right click and hit paste too with your mouse. So the reason why I wanted the C separately is because I want the C to connect with both of these, and when I had tried it earlier it was too small and it wouldn't connect. But now what I want to do is thicken the fonts. So I'm going to select Mary first, and if you go up to Path, you want to do an outset, and you can see for the keyboard it's Control with the right parentheses, but if you click on that on your keyboard, it makes it way too thick. So this is the way that I do it. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but I will show you what I do. I zoom out all the way on my computer with my minus sign on my keyboard. Then I select this again, I make it bigger, and then I hit Control with the parentheses and it makes it a little bit slower. Now I'm just going to bring this back in, and I'll do the same thing for Christmas. I'll hit plus on my keyboard. So I'll do the same thing for Christmas. I'm going to zoom out. Like I said, you can choose whatever font you want for this project. You just want to make sure that it is a thick font because you don't want the lines to be smaller than a pencil. That will prevent the wood from breaking and make it easier to cut. So I'll do the same thing for this one. Then I'll make it smaller, zoom back in, and I'll do the C. I'm going to line these up so that they are connected. I just want all of these to be connected there. So now I am ready to save this. So I'm going to go up to File and hit Save As and save it to my folder here. Now I'm going to pull up the image that we saved from Inkscape. So I'm going to click on Uploads and find that. And I will insert this into Cricut Design Space. Our basswood is only 11 by 11 inches, and with basswood you don't want to go past 11 inches with cutting it. So I am going to make this 10.5 inches. I might make it just the tiniest bit smaller. It looks like I also need to attach all of these, so I am going to click Attach. I forgot to weld this together. All I did was attach it, but it will show the cut lines if you do not weld it. So if you are doing a script font like this, you need to weld it together. So now it should be ready. So I'll click on Make It. I'm going to change it back to 11 by 11. I'm going to go to Browse All Material and search for basswood. And I am going to choose 1/16. It gives us a warning to move our star wheels all the way to the right and to make sure that the material is no wider than 11 inches and secure to the strong grip mat. So here you can see it says to load the knife blade, so I will show you how I do all of this. I bought the basswood from Cricut. It is size 11 by 11 and you get 2 sheets. I switch out my fine point blade with my knife blade. The knife blade is only compatible with the Cricut Maker. If you're using the knife blade for the first time, make sure to calibrate it. Cricut Design Space walks you through the whole process and it is pretty easy to do. When using basswood, you'll need the purple strong grip mat. I placed the basswood on the mat. It was curving in a little, and if it's doing that, make sure you place the concave side, which is the inside of the curve, facing down on the mat. I use the brayer tool to really push the basswood into the mat, and I tape it down on each side. Cricut recommends to do this to prevent the mat from shifting. If the mat shifts even just a little, it will ruin the project. Move your white star wheels on the roller all the way over to the right. These can ruin your basswood project if they are in the way, and that is also why it's recommended to only make the material size 11 inches compared to the normal 12 inches. After I do that, I load my mat into the machine, then hit the Cricut Go button. The Cricut will start to cut this out. Keep in mind, this takes a very long time. I think it took almost an hour and a half maybe to cut it, so it does take lots of time. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried basswood with your Cricut maker. I'm curious what you've made, and let me know how it turned out. It will show you how many passes it will do over your project and about how much time it has left. Once it gets closer to the end of the passes, I like to get some of those tiny pieces inside of the letters out. I like to do this to prevent it getting jammed inside the machine if it happens to pop out. When it's done with all the passes, it will ask you if it looks good or if you need to cut more. So I check it to see if it cut all the way through with the Cricut tool, and it did. I carefully remove the basswood from the mat. I start by very slowly moving the mat backwards, then take out that last piece. I was really bummed though because as you can see it cut into my mat some. I don't think it needed to do all of those passes since it did cut into the mat. If you've used a knife blade before, let me know if you have any tips to prevent that from happening. Now I want to add a few snowflakes, so I'm going to go to images, and I already was looking for snowflakes. I want one that isn't too thin so that we can cut it out with the basswood, and this one looks like a good one, so I am going to insert that into Cricut Design Space. And now I want to grab a shape, and my board that I'm going to be putting this on is 18 inches wide by 8 inches for the height. I'm going to send this to the back. And I'm going to center Merry Christmas. Now I want to change this to red because I'm going to be painting Merry Christmas red. And I'm just going to line up these snowflakes so it helps me figure out what size I want to make it. I'm going to hide Merry Christmas and this box. Okay, now I'll click on Make It. I'm going to do 11 by 11 again. And I'm just going to move these out a little bit. So I'll hit Continue. Now I'm going to select Basswood again. I turn the basswood around to cut out the snowflakes and tape that down as well. You can see the snowflakes needed 14 passes as well. I ended up doing 13, but probably could have done 1 or 2 less because this also started to cut into my mat with the snowflakes. Next time I will probably just check it a little bit better and just do a couple passes less to try to prevent it from cutting the mat. Overall, cutting all of these probably took 2.5 to 3 hours to cut, so it took a really long time. I just let my machine cut while I did other things around the house, and I just kind of kept checking on it. You might want to make sure you don't have your sleep mode on your computer, just in case your computer goes down, it might cancel the cut. I take off the snowflakes very slowly again to prevent anything from splitting. I sped up the video so it looks like I'm doing it so much faster than I actually am. One tiny piece of the snowflake didn't cut all the way through, so I took my X-Acto knife and removed it with that. I paint over the Merry Christmas sign with apple barrel paint that I bought from Walmart. The color is Real Red. Then I paint the snowflakes white. I didn't get this on video, but I did a second coat of paint, and I also sprayed a sealer over it. I don't know if that's necessary because I'll be having it inside, but I thought I would just do it just in case. I found this blank wood sign at Hobby Lobby. They have a bunch of different kinds, which is really fun because you can add anything you want to them. I think it was $12 and I used a 40% off coupon. I line up where I want my pieces to go. I'm using Elmer's wood glue to glue the basswood to the frame. I added way too much wood glue. It was late, so I think I just wasn't really thinking about what I was doing. I used my paper towel and paintbrush to get all of that excess glue off. I glued the snowflakes down as well. I used way less glue, which helped, but I must not have press record on my camera because I couldn't find the video of me gluing it. I think these are the results of the last day of Craftmas. Here is how it looks. I'm going to put this on my fireplace mantle. Even though this was a long process to make, I had so much fun making it, and I was really impressed with how the Cricut could cut out the wood. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And check out my Patreon account in the description box below if you would like to support my channel even further. And there is some perks as well when you join. And have a great day.